Hello there, album enjoyers.
Dearest album enjoyers, we speak to you now very briefly to quickly plug the Enjoy an Album Patreon, aka Becoming an Ultra.
We are plugging Becoming an Ultra. Not the things that you get by being an Ultra, we are plugging the experience of becoming an Ultra.
If that's not the number one reason to become an Ultra, I don't know what is.
No.
It's just £5 per month. If you've ever listened to this podcast and thought, I like these fellas, I enjoy listening to their 4 free hours of content that they put out every month, I would like to purchase them a pint or a coffee one time. This is a way of doing that. But you get exclusive content in return.
You get exclusive content in return. You get full episodes on albums such as
Recently we did Grimes.
Grimes Visions, Ed Sheeran's Divide,
Yes, we did Anoni and the Johnsons. We did the Pogues.
and the Pogues.
We did
Rum Sodomy and the Lash by the Pogues.
the Foo Fighters.
Yeah, oh, that was a sad one.
We did Idols,
Yeah.
Black Country New Road.
Yeah.
Also,
Ants from Up Here.
you would have access to the Edinburgh Fringe Enjoy an Album live show.
We done a live show at Monkey Barrel Comedy Club. We fucking ripped it and shipped it. People were saying that's
People were saying it's one of the best things they've ever seen in their lives, including the Godfather. They said it was better than the Godfather.
People actually did say that it was the funniest thing they'd seen at the Fringe, and they weren't even fucking worms, never mind ultras. They were
Yeah.
just like, that was really funny.
Yeah, like
They didn't even like us as people, and they went, that was funny.
yeah,
Which
yeah.
is mental.
Yeah. So get on that. You also get ad-free
Some
experience.
of my biggest enemies have said that that's the best thing I've ever seen.
Barack Obama himself was in the audience. Christopher, that was. Let me be clear.
Let me be clear.
That was a fantastic live show.
Let me be clear. I hate you. But that's funny.
Zane Lowe has watched it twice.
Zane Lowe, yeah, he played it on his... He played the whole
He
live
dropped
episode.
it.
Yeah.
He dropped it twice in a row.
Just like Barack Obama dropped bombs on
let me be
various
clear.
countries.
That was a fantastic live show. So you also get episodes a day early, and you get exclusive access to tickets for live shows when they do go on
Ad-free
sale.
experience. You don't have to hear this shit.
This shite every goddamn week, and we forget to do a new one every month. So sometimes it's 3 months of the same advert.
Yep.
This has probably gone on long enough. You understand what I'm saying. Become an Ultra today. Patreon.com/enjoy an album. Link in bio.
Just be sound and do it.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Enjoy an Album with Liam With Now and Christopher MacArthur Boyd. Your name is so long.
Do you think so?
Yes.
It's longer than you.
It's longer than most people's. Christopher MacArthur Boyd. Fucking 7 syllables, you cunt. What are you doing?
I've got a theory.
Double-barreled posh freak. What?
I've got a theory.
Uh-huh.
A, I'm not a posh freak. B,
That is a theory. Yet to be proven.
well, I didn't go to private school or anything like that. I think that because I have such a long name,
Yep.
that's why I was the champion speller in my primary school. Because I'd been spelling my name. That taught me his techniques.
Right.
I learned how to spell my name by going, Chris, top, her.
Chris, top her.
Yeah, which have been said to
That's
me
been
many times.
yeah. That's a command you get regularly.
By my wife.
Chris, top her. Liam,
boyfriend.
bottom him.
No.
I'm a power bottom.
This is the second time we tried to do this intro.
You know,
Can I just say,
my
way
bottom,
worse than the first attempt.
my bottom is anything but powerful. We know that.
It's powerful, but not a good power. It's powerful in an evil way.
In an evil way.
Like a wizard.
Well,
Or
so-
a frog.
We're going to be counting down our top 5 albums this year. We did 10 through 6 last week on the
Yeah.
Enjoy an Album End of Year playlist episode, whatever
That's
it's
right.
called. And this week
Can
we're
we
doing,
just quickly run through that to catch him up?
yes.
Number 10 for Liam was Sufjan Stevens with Javelin. Now you do mine.
Why don't I have your list in front of
Okay,
me?
so I'll just quickly go through it. Liam had number 10, Sufjan Stevens with Javelin. Number 9, Black Country New Road. Number 8, Black Country New Road,
Live at Bush Hall.
Live at Bush Hall. Number 8, Lana Del Rey with her hit album, There Is a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard.
Did you know?
Did you know that there's a tunnel
This is
under
a
Ocean
fucking
Boulevard?
shambles.
Number 7,
oh my god, we've done a whole podcast of this. We don't need to list it.
No, but they haven't listened to that. They just listened to this one.
Go
Catch
listen
them
to
up.
it. Go listen to
Right.
last week's one. Speaking of counting down lists, me and Christopher were rather excitingly put on a list ourselves recently. A list.
Not a list of the most horrific sexual criminals of all time.
No, they keep overlooking us. Every year the list comes out and we go, God damn it, what do we have to do?
It's political. It's all politics. It's who your PR person
It's
knows.
who you know. We were put on the lists, top 100 hottest motherfuckers in the country last week. We're number 11.
That's not their terminology.
No, it's called the List Hot 100. It comes out every year. It's a list of the most important cultural contributors of the last year. Chris and I were grouped together
For some reason.
at number 11.
This podcast isn't the only thing I do.
Just outside the top 10, which makes us the highest ranking people on the list to not make the front cover of the actual magazine. That's where they put their top 10, or to have a dedicated page in the magazine. So they're basically, when you guys are hot but not hot enough, we want people to actually look at your face.
Long time CMB Hive Hornets will remember that I am the 59th funniest person in the history of Scotland.
According to which
The Herald, the newspaper.
the Herald newspaper did a countdown of the top 60 funniest Scottish people. You were 59. You were the 11th hottest person. So your worth as a human has you down at probably at number 35. You know, somewhere between the two.
35.
Most worth being alive person.
35 most worthless cunt of all time, I think, is the name of my next film show.
I'm not on that list yet.
Not yet.
Very cool to be on the 11th fucking coolest cunts though, because largely this podcast, you know,
Well, we don't do anything else together other
So-
than have big dinners.
I would eat arancini, and I don't know if the list take that into consideration. So shout out to our listeners for, I guess, you know,
It's
helping us.
not audience voted.
No, but like without the listeners, who would we be?
Well, why do you think we were on it?
Because we're cool, because we have a cool podcast that people listen to.
My theory is we're on it because it's put together by music journalists and we kind of do what they do and they live vicariously through us. They
Brian,
think,
but no, Brian Donaldson puts he wrote our blurb where he
terrible blurb.
called us,
No offense.
it was kind of grammatically crap, wasn't it?
Yes.
And it said he called us scamps.
We're not scamps.
We
We're
are
men.
We're scampish.
Not a scamp.
We're scampy fries.
I don't burp halfway through sentences. Brian.
Shout out to the list for putting us
Shout
on
out to
there.
Brian Donaldson for putting us on
Brian
there.
Badonde for putting us on the list. That's pretty cool. Not the highest ranking comedians. Kieran Hodgson, he's so hot, was number 9. Marilyn Robertson, number 3. Fern Brady, number 2.
And Marilyn's been on the podcast and will be on the podcast again.
Yes.
So really the podcast is number
3.
1.
Number 1. The number 1 hottest thing, I think.
And I also think if we are number 11, that means we have a 1 each.
Yeah.
So we're both number 1.
We're both number 1.
That's how 11 works. 2 ones.
That I think so. I'm no mathematist, but I think so. Shout out to the list for putting us on the list. What? And shout out to you, dear listener, for listening to this episode. Hey, if you want to come and see the hottest pieces of asses in Scotland live, you can.
see us at the Glasgow International Comedy Festival at the Glee Club in Glasgow on Renfield Street.
Yes, on March the 17th. It's an international comedy festival, so we're going to be doing the show in French. We've downloaded Duolingo. It's hard.
We are going to be talking about Untrue by Burial with the Duolingo owl. He also refuses to acknowledge the horrors of the 7/7 attacks in London.
Yeah. We're going to
He
be...
goes, "Tweet it."
We're also doing, if you don't live in Glasgow and if you don't care to travel, I'm going to be going on tour with my Fringe show. I think this is the real reason that we were in the list top 11, because we both had very good fringes, right?
We both had very good PR people.
We both, we both, you know, sold a lot of tickets, had a lot
Do
of
you
good
not
reviews.
see how these lists work?
Brother, it's smoke and mirrors, okay?
So
I know
smoke
that. You know that. We don't say it out loud. It's because of the worth of our art.
Yeah.
So if you want to see my hot Fringe show, it is touring the country, going everywhere, all the major cities and a few other places too. Christopher is doing his Fringe show, Scary Times.
I also have tour dates coming out. Why don't you sign up to my mailing list, which will be on by the time...
I guarantee you it will not be.
No, it will be. I've said this so as that I have to do it by 2 weeks from now.
100%. There's going to be
Sign up for my
no
mailing
fucking
list
mailing
to get
list.
the first news about stuff coming out. I've got a new podcast coming out. I've got a tour coming out. I've got dates for next year all over England, and we're doing a live show at the Glee, and I've got other stuff coming out as well.
I look forward to the
Shut
mailing,
the fuck
the
up.
mailing
You
list.
don't. I'm going to do this out of spite. For you.
Yeah. If you work out how to use MailChimp within the next 2 weeks,
Substack. I've already bought the domain.
I will eat my hat.
Fucking eat your ass if you don't shut up.
Okay. Listen, good luck to you. In terms of
It's a
asses
bomb
eaten.
site.
Yeah. Bring a spoon.
Bring a copper spoon.
Enjoy the episode, the countdown, and Happy New Year! Hey, are your pubes too hairy? Do you need help with that?
Your groin to hairlicious. Hairsuit.
Is there too much of a positive environment for crabs and lice?
Too much fuzz on your coos.
When you get undressed in front of someone you wish to have a sexual time with, are you embarrassed by the state of your nether regions?
Having an examination done by a doctor and you're self-conscious about how hairy your balls and bits are.
Us too. What a shame there's no solution for this kind of problem.
No, wait, there is.
What?
Manscaped.
Oh my God, what is that? Tell me more.
Not manscaping, not manscaper, manscaped.
Only a stupid person would have called it that by accident 10 times in a row.
Yes.
Only an idiot.
It's the below the belt grooming experience. It's not blade free, it's blade full.
It's bladeful.
It's cut free. You won't
It's
cut
cut free.
yourself. I'm literally closing my eyes in the shower in the fucking rain coming down. I shower in the rain and I'm just not even looking, just buzzing.
If you do look, there's a little handy torch which highlights where you're about to trim. Which, yes.
I've never used the torch. That's cool.
Yes.
Attached to the
Yes.
the
there's
lawnmower.
There's a light that comes on that shows you exactly where you're trimming.
You can do it in the dark with your eyes closed and you still hit the remark.
You can do it dark, with your eyes closed, in the shower. It's waterproof. You can charge it using USB-C. So you can unplug your phone if you've got a USB-C, plug it straight into your pube trimmer.
You're on a train.
You're ready to go. You're on a train. Please only use these
Your
plug
phone's up to
sockets
75%.
for phones, laptops, and pube trimmers.
That's why they have that sign. Don't do that. But what you should
Sometimes
do,
I go into a coffee shop and I sit near a plug socket and I plug my lawnmower in so that I could jump into the bathroom, keep it fresh all times. I never want to see a single hair on my balls, otherwise I cry.
Yeah, I've got a cock like a dolphin.
It's
Grey.
grey and endangered.
Just if you want a funny gift for someone or
It's not funny.
It's not funny. It's,
It's
fucking
useful.
serious.
Enjoy an album. No, what's the code again? Manscaped
Album
20. God almighty.
You get 20%
Can you
off.
believe we get paid for this? Album 20 for % off your first purchase and ongoing purchases, I think.
If you don't have a cock and balls, you can do it on other stuff, but it's mainly made for the cock and balls.
It's got the word man in the title, let's be honest.
Let's not get into that topic, man, but hey, it's good.
It's good stuff.
The pants are good.
And the underwear, the anti-chafing material is to die for. That's album 20.
die for it,
Don't die for it.
please.
Enjoy. Thank you. Bye.
You're listening to Enjoy an Album, the podcast where two comedians listen to some of the greatest albums of all time.
So, welcome back to Le Countdown.
Le Canton.
Le Countdown. Of the Countdown.
Welcome to the countdown.
When I went to watch my friend Jono on Countdown, there was a Northern Irish guy also competing.
Give me a file.
That's what he kept saying. Voil, please, Carl.
Kiosnia.
Johnson's. And it would, when he was doing the math sound, he would go, eat. Love that. Eat.
I think the Northern Irish culture is incredible.
Agreed. Anyway, we're not here to talk about the Northern Irish Cultural Quarter, although it might make an appearance, I guess.
Are you doing Belfast on your tour?
No. We are instead going to be counting down our top 5 albums of the year each. I went first last episode. You go first this week. For Christopher, at number 5 is...
Danny Brown with Quaranta.
Oh, Danny Brown, the pipes are calling. From glen to glen, along the mountainside. The sun has gone. And,
Speaking of maudlin Irish things, how did your dad feel when Shane MacGowan died?
he cried. He spoke to me. I messaged him and said, "Oh, Dad, I don't know if you heard, but sad day, Shane MacGowan has passed away." And he said he was in tears.
he cried when you told him, or he'd been crying already?
I believe I told him. Like, he found out from me.
Why would you break your dad's heart?
Because who's it better to come from? Someone you love, or fucking some freak on the news just going, and Shane McGowan, the beloved Irish punk singer, has passed away aged 65. Like, that's not a good way to hear stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Who would I rather tell me that James Hetfield is dead?
James Hetfield himself.
James Hetfield himself.
I'm dead and I'm here. Oh my God.
Yo, I'm dead.
Yeah.
That's what he would say.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
That's not how he sings. But Danny Brown with 40. Now, you listen to a Danny Brown record, you listen to Danny Brown and JPEG Mafia's hit album, Scaring the Hose.
I think it's the funniest album name.
If you're
Scaring
not
the
familiar,
Hose.
if you're not familiar with the concept of scaring the hose, how
I
would
think
you
most
describe
people,
it?
well, I think most people are familiar with the concept of scaring hoes.
Do you think so?
You just jump out of bushes.
No. Hose scaring is
To Scare a Hoe by Christopher MacArthur Boyd.
by Robbie Burns. Oh, we can't embrace hoe. Oh, what a panic in thy breasties.
Oh, to scare a hoe as you would be scared.
Scared hose scampering through. A dilly what is frighten ye ho. Never mind. So Danny Brown's the concept of scaring the hoe is, you know, there's a genre of music called hoe scaring music, which is like if you went back to maybe an after party and someone stuck on Death Grips, that's hoe scaring music. Nobody, you're not going to be having a good time with some ladies you've just met. When
Is this a thing you've invented, or is it a
no,
real
this
genre?
is a real thing. This is where scaring the hose comes from.
Right, okay. So it's like if you were to put on fucking weird music at an after party.
That's hoe scaring music.
Right, so if I'm
Don't put Neutral Milk Hotel on.
So if I'm at a gig and then there's loads of hoes, and then I'm like, hey hoes, do you want to come back to mine? And they come back to mine, and I put on Iggy Ben Miassi by Can, then
I don't know. I think that isn't hoe scaring music
You don't think
necessarily.
so?
Depends the type of lady. I just want to clarify,
It-
we don't consider anybody to be a hoe.
no, that's true. We're an anti-hoe podcast.
We don't like hoes. No, we like them, but we don't use that terminology.
If a woman were a hoe, the last thing I'd want to do is scare her.
No, 100%. I respect sex workers, and I don't like scaring them. I like comforting them with my political activism.
Do you know what I find scary? People who don't consider sex work.
Do you know what I find scary? Neoliberalism.
Yeah.
So I don't bring it up around them.
Yeah.
But what I would say is, so that's kind of whole scary music. There was a lot of memes about it.
Right.
And they too put out a record with the explicit goal of scaring the hose.
Right.
Called Scaring the Hose.
Right.
So they both have, well, JPEG Mafia is a bit of an outsider artist, but Danny Brown has definitely had music that is not hoe scaring music, and that album was...
It's hoe friendly.
He's had a lot of hoe friendly records. And I would say this album, 40, goes back into a hoe friendly sound.
Okay, so if you are a hoe and you're listening, then Christopher recommends Danny Brown's album as something that your hoe ears will be able to manage.
It's an absolutely perfect sequel to his album XXX, which he released when he was 30.
Triple X.
Triple X.
Starring Vin Diesel.
It was the soundtrack to that film. And then this is 40, which means 40 in Italiano.
XXX means Twitter.
If you are a gunk. So this is 40, which is 40. It's about, he's really went off the boil during lockdown, and
What's come under the boil?
what's come under the boil for Danny Brown. What's come under Brown, and he had a lot of alcohol problems and stuff, so he's in recovery now, like yourself, and he's not doing any drugs anymore. And this is the kind of last blast. This is a sequel to 30, which was about, I'm 30 years old, I've not made it. 50 Cent kind of had me as a hanger on, but he wouldn't put any of my music out because I was wearing
Is
skinny
he really
jeans.
saying he's not made it though? He's a pretty big star, Danny
10
Brown.
years ago he wasn't. He was like nobody. And
Right.
then Triple X kind of broke through into the Pitchfork circles,
Okay.
and you know, in 2010 or 2012, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And now Coranta's like 10 years later. I'm 40, sequel to 30.
So, I mean, this is your only hip hop album on the list, I think. I don't really have.
Yeah,
any
Billy
of this.
Woods had a good record. Maps, which a lot of people are putting.
I've seen that on a lot of top tens
That's
as well.
really cool.
We need to cover more hip hop really, because it's another genre that, you know, there's albums and artists that I love, but definitely something I could delve into a lot more.
Not to be too, yeah, we do have to cover more hip hop, because I feel like sometimes we go, oh, we can't do that because Secret Porsche won't be interesting, and it's like we've got stuff to say about stuff.
I don't think I'm not sure if that's really a concern of mine necessarily. I think it is just something that we're not naturally into.
Well, it's not funny to make fun of someone's background if they're a hip hop artist. Usually,
That's not all this podcast is, though.
I know it's not all the podcast. What
It's
I'm saying.
also we like to riff about Barack Obama and cum. That's most of it.
Melania. Quaranta.
Scaring the hose. You know what really scares the hose? Drone strikes.
100% in Yemen.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, man. So that's number 5. Is Danny Brown Quaranta. Number 5 for Liam
is Mitski. The land is inhospitable, and so are we. I'm just going to read my note out in full here. It says, this is doubly impressive because I think she's a bit of a twat.
Wow.
But we covered it on the podcast, and I like she's a big posho, isn't she? We discovered
is funded by the CIA.
Yeah, big CIA head, personal friend to Barack Obama. She, however, the last 2 albums, this and Laurel Hell, have been albums I've repeatedly gone back to. I think it's a really impressive album. Again, she is, like I mentioned about Lana in the last episode, she's someone who is capable of singing about modern stuff in a non-cringe way. It's depressing.
I got big Lana vibes from this record when we listened to it. We done an episode on this already.
Well, I mean, it's bisexual nose ring universe coded for sure. It's a depressed woman singing pop music. The song about eating cake because you're depressed is still, I think, one of the funniest songs of the whole year.
Yeah, I still don't think it's funny. You kept talking about how funny it was, and I just found it really sad and challenging.
I eat a whole cake. I mean, I love eating a whole cake.
Yeah.
That speaks to me personally.
I had a whole duck done, buddy, last night.
I've certainly sat down and eaten a whole cake for sure.
This year?
Yeah, a few times.
Yeah.
Hundo P.
Service station cakes.
Mitski this is maybe going to cross over in terms of the annoyingness levels of Mitski, though. What I learned this week. She is writing the music for a musical based on the Netflix series The Queen's Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of that? Yeah, have you watched Queen's Gambit?
I watched like 2 episodes of it. It's about a young woman who is
sexy,
playing chess.
and she plays chess.
Yeah.
It was a big Netflix hit. I liked it, but I found it a bit
shite. I liked it, but I found it a bit shite.
Basically, yeah. There was just something really overproduced about it all. Like first off, it was very like the writing of it was very so train tracked. You could see exactly where everything was going at all times. Some people like that, I find it annoying. But also, it was just all a bit too clean and pretty, and nothing looked real.
It had that kind of Wes Anderson quality, but without the hallmarks of humanity that makes Wes Anderson's art so incredibly powerful.
Well, yeah, no real charm there.
Charmless.
But it was watchable. It was just one of these things that felt like it had been written by a group of people to make something as watchable as possible. You know what I mean?
I also thought that about stuff on Netflix. Sex Education. Terrible shit.
But that Mitski album, The Land is Inhospitable and So Are We. It is, again, I listened to it again this week and I went, fuck, this is really good. It's really good all the way through.
I listened to that song on it. What's it called? Love Myself.
Yep.
Love Mine. Me, Myself and Irene. What's it called?
Love Me More?
No, it's Love Me Do by the Beatles.
Maybe Love Me More is from...
Can't buy me love. Mitski.
My Love, Mine, All Mine.
My Love, Mine, All Mine. I was reading an article about that today, and it was saying that just, you know how nobody
knows anything. I'm going back to the start.
No.
That one?
No, Nobody by Mitski.
Oh, right, yeah, okay.
Nobody by Mitski was a big TikTok hit. Apparently this one's been a big TikTok hit as well, that song. And now
TikTok girlies love Mitski.
Yeah. Do you think that's because it is a Chinese app and is therefore funded by the CIA?
No. I think it's because she's a depressed girl and most TikTok girlies are on fucking Xanax.
The numbers that her streams are getting are, compared to on Spotify and stuff like that, compared to what a Phoebe Bridgers or a Lana Del Rey would get, so much higher. A lot, especially internationally in places like Chile, that people are going, what is it about her? It's songwriting, probably. But that one in particular, I read an article about Mitski today and I found this really funny bit. Oh, I've lost it. Fuck. Oh, jeez. Oh, those are my pictures. Okay. Soon after its release, Mitski asked people not to film her performances, which prompted a backlash from some fans who said their mental health circumstances necessitated filming as a memory aid. Do you think that's such justification of antisocial behaviour in the name of mental health?
100%.
I feel like glassing those children.
It's just like it's the end product of the popularization of individualism, of like my feelings as
a young adult,
as a person
growing up,
as someone who has come to the concert, are more important than not only the people around me but also the artists themselves.
Yeah.
You do not deserve to have your opinion about what I do during your concert because I am the center of the universe. I need to film you more than you need not to be filmed.
Do we sound like old men?
Probably.
Yeah.
But also, like, shut the fuck up. Quite simple.
Number 4.
Like, we have spoken, and I've already said on the podcast, look, you can't get too mad about people filming the gigs because it is just going to happen now. You have to get used to
To
it.
quote Earth, Wind and Fire and Harvey Keitel in the film Earth, Wind and Fire, it's the way of the world.
But there is etiquette, and you can, just film a little bit. Just take a little snapshot. Don't film the whole concert.
But what if you have emotional memory health problems?
Then stay in the fucking house.
Stay in the loony bin that you deserve to be thrown into.
It's like people who say they fucking have to have Deliveroo fucking meal deals because they can't bear to go to the shop. Well, what would you have done 10 years ago? Starved to death? You'd have managed. Shut the fuck up. No,
Check in on your mates though, because mental health is real.
Check in on your Deliveroo riders because they're out there in the fucking rain bringing you meal deals because you want servants, you fucking bourgeoisie pricks. What's your number 4?
Wait a minute. This is a bit of an outlier for me. I've taken an emo record that has a pink album cover.
Okay.
It's called Oblivion Will Own Me and Death Alone Will Love Me, open bracket, void filler, close bracket, by the Philadelphia indie emo rock band Short Fictions.
Yes, okay.
I
have heard you speak about these, to be fair.
Are you accusing me of making shit up?
Yes.
Who? What one?
I don't think they're made up. I think you are. I think you've tried to curate a list that it gives off a certain vibe, rather than maybe what your top 10 truly is.
That's mental. I wouldn't even begin to criticize your selection.
This is a good selection that's honest.
Yeah, I thought that way when Six Music told me to listen to all that shit as well. Anyway,
that's all albums we've covered.
yeah. Due to you hearing about them on Six Music, Mitski was one of Six Music's albums of the year.
Yeah.
Artists of the year, artists in residence of the year. She has her own shows. You don't think you've been fucking brainwashed by the BBC?
Well, we're all influenced by the people that we listen and read to loads of different music blogs and radio stations. So of course we're influenced, but it makes more sense that there would be crossover between multiple people's albums of the year because it means that they are one of the albums of the year rather than some fucking thing no one's ever heard of. Some fucking instrumental country artist. Grow up. That you read about on some blog. I'm going to put that one number 1 and everyone think I'm really cool and loads of stuff about music.
See if you knew it, and you'd kill yourself.
Isn't that true?
Thankfully, you're a dumb.
Isn't that true of all of us, man? If we fucking knew anything, we'd kill ourselves.
Which is actually a huge theme of Oblivion Will Own Me and Death Alone Will Love Me by Short Fictions. Now, I've already put these lads on the list, on the playlist, way back when we covered Linda Ronstadt. I noticed that she had double-tracked guitars. Maybe it was Bonnie Raitt, actually. I think it was Linda Ronstadt, though. And stuck on a song that was on the pre-show playlist for my Fringe show in 2021.
I think that's why I know it, because I've listened to the playlist and the song. Would you remember what song it was?
Living in places like this
Right.
was bad for your health, I think it's called.
Okay.
And it's just, I love that song. It's about living in shite accommodation. It's about the mold and the walls, and it's about when it goes, this house is a fucking nightmare.
Oh yeah, that's what
I'm
I know.
a liar and I'm a hoarder. I love every brick and mortar in this house. And like the thing I love about them is that they're an emo band, but they'll do moments of black metal and they'll do moments of fucking screamo and country music, and they'll just dip into different genres, and it always kind of sounds like them. And I wish I could have seen them. They played the Hug and Pint this year. It was sold out, but I couldn't go because of various other things. But really, this one's about one of his friends has died, and it's really
It's My Friend Died album.
yeah.
Ed Sheeran.
It's not like Ed Sheeran's one,
No,
because Ed Sheeran would never do a song called "I'm Gonna Kill Myself with a Gun."
maybe you should.
I would love it if he.
I'm not saying when I say maybe I should, I don't mean maybe you should write a song with that.
No, I know what you meant, and I agree with you.
Dead Sheeran. That's me. That's
Dead
me.
Sheeran.
That's me. Come on.
Check
Sorry.
in on your mates,
Check in anyway.
because some of them are Ed Sheeran, and they're gonna hopefully kill
No,
themselves.
no.
No,
We're
of
not.
course.
We're
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
We're a satire podcast. We're satirizing what some mean podcast might say, but that's not what we would say. Check in online 2 hours before the flight goes.
Do you know though, you can actually show up at Glasgow Airport not having checked in, and you just go up to a woman in an EasyJet jacket, and she just gives you your ticket.
You just go up and say, "How are you doing? How are you doing mentally at the moment?
How are you hanging in there? Huh?
Are you doing okay? Yeah, have you got a sad lamp?"
I would love a sad lamp and a heavy blanket. What I'll say about this album, one of his friends has clearly died and he's not very happy about it. I'm Gonna Kill Myself with a Gun's a great song.
Yep.
He goes, I'm gonna kill myself with a gun.
It's really funny to say the name of a song and then just sing the name of the song.
Yeah. I need a lot more money than what I have. I have none. It's very good.
Being skint.
And there's loads of wee samples of like anime conversations.
Anime.
There's a bit where they kind of name drop the name of the band. There's a bit where it goes, I don't know, am I too old to be the lead singer of Short Fictions? He says that in a song.
Oh.
Kind of name drops himself, and the lyrics are just so great. And I've been away from home so much this year, and there's loads of stuff about like, what is the fucking point of what I'm doing? This is so egomaniacal, and I can only do this because I have such a great support system, and yet I abandoned my entire support system to go off and gallivant.
This is a bit close to home. This is hurting me right in the feels.
Yeah, you haven't even went on tour yet,
Yeah.
and you're gonna feel it.
You do spend so much of your life on the road, out every night,
Yeah.
just fucking
Fucking
asking people what they do for a living.
yeah. I mean, I don't consider that to be art, but it is hard. You know, how many nights of your life have you spent in Birmingham? Terrifying.
Yeah. Not that many, really.
Yeah, you do get booked by the Glees as much as me.
Well,
but
I do actually play there quite a lot.
not as much as me because it's booked by my agents. But
I reckon I probably play there about as much as you. You know, I think we put both our diaries up for the last 2 years.
I bet 5 years.
Even still.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. Weird flex. Weird old flex.
Not flexing. I'm saying how much of your life have you wasted in Birmingham?
I like Birmingham.
No, it's great.
I went to the Pen.
I'm just saying, your wife's better.
I went to the Pen Museum last time I was there,
Yeah.
and I made my own nib.
Oh, did you go to the Black Sabbath Bridge?
No.
Maybe next time. But you don't get booked. I'm going to contact them. That's not to book you. Book me more. Anyway,
so that's is this emo?
is this emo?
Too
Yes.
long a pause. You can't leave a pause like that in a podcast. Come on, we're 2 years in. You should know that. People will think, "What is my fucking podcast app paused?"
Oh, so someone asks a question and the other person.
You done it again. you can't keep doing this. Let's do my number 4.
Oblivion will love me, Deflin will love me, Void filler. Yeah, should have filled the void there. That'll be a joke between us.
That's a bit inside baseball. I don't know if our fans will get that, you know.
We've got prayer.
We've been recording for 3 hours, and I think we've finally gone mad.
Number 3 for Liam Withnail.
Number 3, 4. That's number 4.
Number 3, Liam Withnail.
It's number 4.
Number 4 for Liam Withnail.
My number 4 is Anoni. My back was a bridge for you to cross. In my Spotify Wrapped, one of the cool things, you wouldn't know this because you don't have Spotify, but one of the cool
was
things
it like...
that one of the Spotify Wrapped does is it gives you sometimes
I've got an Apple turnover, mate.
information that's like your most listened to album this month was this, and my most listened to album in August during the Edinburgh Festival
Yeah.
was Anoni singing about trans rights. I don't know what that says about me or my mental health during the festival. That I listened to this trans woman crying via the medium of a song about the fucking state of the world, and that I guess gave me some sort of comfort during the Edinburgh Fringe. But we covered it at the end of the month, the Fringe at some gaff. First off, I've loved Anoni for a very long time. I loved her solo album, and the earlier stuff, Anoni and the Johnsons. I Am a Bird Now. Oh my God, what an absolutely amazing piece of work. Her voice is always, I mean, this is the reason why she's as famous as she is. Her voice has always had that quality of crying while singing. And when she did her solo album, she was crying about the fucking world, the environment and stuff. And that's something to cry about, sure. But now it's so much more personal, you know, in It Must Change. She's basically saying this has to change. The way the world treats trans people, it cannot continue like this. And, you know, obviously as a trans woman, that has like incredible weight and meaning. And the only thing I will say is that second song, I'm just still... I spoke about this in the episode.
It's good.
It's such a crazy place to put the one fucking weird song on the album.
It is a mental place to put it. Start with it.
Yeah.
End with it.
When everything else is it's like Memphis Soul and then this weird fucking German krautrock thing in the middle. But I mean, still, I love the rest of it so much that I'm happy to put it as my number 4. And if you haven't heard Noni, I mean, the opening song is It Must Change, which I think is a really good example of Noni.
We
doing
were
what they do
walking.
best.
What's the name of that record shop on the walk from the train station to up here?
Record shop.
Yeah, we were walking past Record Shop, and they had Call Me by Al Green in it.
Yeah.
And it had that the insistent lean in drum beat, and that's the exact same drum beat they use in that, and it's a total protest record. It's using the musical language of the soul music, the soundtrack, the civil rights movement in the 70s to go. I mean, it's an audacious thing to do, but to say, hey, we need to do that again.
Yeah. And people are always saying, where's the political music these days? Blah, blah, blah. You know?
It's fucking out there. You're not going to get it for Disney Plus, you stupid cunt. You moron. Stop.
And even the so-called political bands who are marketed as political bands are not themselves political. You know, 1975's your idols, those fucking...
Your Sleaford
pussies.
mods who will have a Palestinian flag thrown on their stage and they'll fucking storm up. What would you fuck?
What do you want us to fucking say about that? Why don't you shut the fuck up, you fucking freaks?
Why don't you join Ed in the suicide booth? Anyway, for different reasons.
Yes. But no,
we're not going to say people should kill themselves. We're celebrating good music. We don't have to denigrate people. But the lead singer of Sleaford Mods is an absolute nub too. Who should consider it.
The album is. I've written the word devastating, and it is. It's. But it's beautiful, you know, and it's amazing that it can be both at the same time. So yeah, that's my number 4. And only my back was a bridge for you to cross. Itself a reference to all the hard work done by people, minorities who are struggling. You know, hoping that in the future, people will be able to look at the work of Anoni and say, "Wow, it's because of that now we can, you know, live in a certain way." You know what I mean? My back, literally, the fucking bridge that you have crossed over in order to live your free life and putting yourself in that fucking...
It's the avant-garde, isn't it? It's saying, I'm going to go out there first and I won't come back alive, but the information that you'll get from a dead body will allow you to go even further if you want.
Yeah.
Which is a bit fucking up your own ass to say about yourself.
But I think if you've written I'm a Bird Now, then you probably can say that.
Huge album for people who consider themselves birds.
Yeah. Yeah. Nelly Furtado loves that.
It's an amazing piece of art. Number 3
33333 for
We
Chris.
have the name. We have the name. Enjoy an album, but we have the same album for number 3.
Oh, we've both put we're going to joint number 3. So this is interesting. So you sent me your list, and so we spoke about crossover because obviously I think if we were doing our own individual lists, maybe they would look a little bit different. This is we're being observed here.
What? So you think I'm making stuff up? So what albums from mine would you put on? Given that you didn't even listen to the National album, you listened to a different Danny Brown record.
Well, I know
mean-
what you've put as number 2, which was in my long list as
was
well.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And you know, as I said, the list would change day to day, really, but as does your taste, depending on how you are feeling. But when we listed the albums, you had this already, and I went, "Fuck, Chris has already got that." We kind of wanted to use this as a chance to talk about different albums rather than just have the same thing. But it was such a big album for me that I've went, "No, fuck it, we're both going to have it," and it is Jeff Rosenstock's
Hell Mode.
Hell Mode. Another thing, maybe there's a little bit of recency bias there because I listened to it a lot over the last month. But
On my Apple turnover, I very bravely shared my first look at my Apple turnover with you because we were both doing a gig together or something like
Yeah.
that. And it was mostly, it was the top 2 tracks.
it said you listened to the album like 70 times or something.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm
it's-
addicted to it.
It's a great pop punk record. One thing I love about it, I think, is the fact that you also love it so much, and we do this podcast together, and it's cool when we both like have the same vibe about something and love it a lot. And it's really
Very rare.
yeah. But I mean, the kind of is, I mean, we do agree a lot about music stuff, but to actually really passionately go, oh, holy shit, this fucking rocks. And
You're the first 2 pages of Frankenstein guy. I'm a laugh track guy, you know.
yeah, and it's so easy to re-listen to it. This is another one that I put on in the gym every now and then, because it's short songs, pop punk, catchy, but also political. You know,
The thing about that really sticks with me is the thing about trying to be a left-wing person and try to believe in social justice, but at the same time, getting an Uber, even though you know for a fact that Uber is an evil company who's destroying the labour rights of people who work in the taxi industry.
I'm trying to follow BDS at the moment, right?
It's hard.
And like, I mean, some of the
KFC? Fuck.
Coca-Cola, Amazon, you know, it's incredibly difficult to live in the world. And
I would like to say that the book that I bought you, I didn't get from Amazon.com. I got
But
from
Ronan Keating,
no, I got. Well,
you got that from
actually,
Barack. You got that at the
got
White
that
House.
from Barack Obama.
Yeah.
Barack Obama sent it by drone across the Atlantic Ocean, and he nearly pressed the wrong button and obliterated my home. And neighbours.
Partick has been exploded.
Partick has been destroyed.
£4 worth of damage.
Hey, come on, it's nice.
The old ones are the best. The old ones are the best.
Is that one of the oldest jokes that if a drone bomb blew up your neighbourhood, it would only cost? Is that one of the oldest jokes?
Well, it's a joke about nuclear war. They used to say, like, you know, do
Drop a bomb in Sheffield.
Yeah.
They would be doing a good thing
That's
by
not
getting rid of the ratings.
Wow.
I love Sheffield.
Yeah, Sheffield
Great town.
doesn't love you.
There's a reason Alex Turner's on the moon.
Jeff
So I got
Rose-
that from bookshop.org.
Bookshop.org.
Yeah.
Great. So this album, Hell Mode, you already have it on vinyl.
Got it on, you know, honestly, I was swithering with my purchase for you, the gift. And that's why I didn't bring them because I couldn't decide what one. I was going to give you an album that I thought that you might like, that I think would challenge you and that you might not like. And then I have Hell Mode on vinyl, and because you like it and we were discussing should it be on your list, should it be on my list, I was going to give you my pink, black splattered
Whoa.
limited edition.
I'd have given it back.
From Bristol.
I'd have said, no, Christopher. That's too important to you. You have it. Also, I know how bad you look after records, so I don't want that you've had your grubby little what's-it fingers on it.
The spine is all fucked. So
Yeah, I
I'll
don't
get
want-
a new one. You can have it.
Giving someone a gift that challenges them then is like low-key one of the most arrogant things you can do, though.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to get better.
Here's something that I like.
You're
you
not
might
ready
not
for
be
this.
smart enough to like
It's not.
it.
It's just there's a lot of screaming on it,
Oh, really?
but in a very cool way.
like, oh,
It's more like
oh, I don't know about that. No, I don't like that. I am already... No. This record is going to live here at the Monkey Barrel Studios and be a background thing. That's what it is, because I don't want fucking screaming coming out of my beautiful speakers.
It was the number one rated album of 2013, not just in metal, every genre.
Wow.
The highest rated album of the year album.
Yeah, like the aggregate list thing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So people who are not metal people are like,
You have just told me so much about this gift that you're going to give me. That,
and you still don't even know.
no. Our listeners might know. Time for number 2.
Number 2 for Liam Withnail.
No, it's Christopher first.
Oh, okay. Number 2 for me. It's funny I said that. CMAT with Crazy Mode for me. Another Mode record.
Yeah, so this nearly went on my top 10. I've been listening to this a lot over the last few weeks. I've had it on repeat, and it's a fantastic album. CMAT, incredibly cool person. She just filmed her gig at the Barrowlands.
I can't believe I didn't get a ticket.
Yeah,
I feel like a real gimp.
I feel like, she's already, look, I think the 2 nights at Barrowlands, maybe just one, but like sold out way far in advance. Already got a huge audience, 2 albums, and has been, I think she was on Graham Norton recently.
She was in Graham Norton recently.
So,
and that makes a career.
Feels like it's going to be a big couple of years for CMAT.
Did I tell you about when I went to
stardom.
Graham Norton's television studios to have a meeting with them?
With Graham Norton?
With Graham Norton's production company, So Comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't go well.
Oh, what
I
did
kept
you do?
pitching that I could be the new Simon Amstell and do Pop World, and they
Right.
were like, music stuff. Nobody listens to music stuff.
No.
I was like, shit. And now I realised that is true. But the cool thing I found out then was that Barry, one of the Chuckle Brothers, was going to die soon. That's what they told me. They had the cardboard cutout of the Chuckle Brothers. And I went, oh, the Chuckle Brothers? And they went, yeah, he's going to die soon. 4 months later, he was dead.
Right. You say that with most old people, though.
No, I mean, Kendrick
Just hedge your
Kissinger
bets,
should have
do you
died
know
a
what I mean?
long time ago.
Yeah, should have died a very long time ago.
Yeah, should have been killed by the Cambodian hit squad.
by,
They knew it was good for
by
them.
the bookshop.org drone. Dropping fucking Radiohead books on his head.
CMAT, man, I think Stu got me into our last record. If
She's
my
got
wife
an-
knew I'd be dead, I think it was called. It
She's
was
got
amazing.
an incredible voice.
And super iconic voice. Like,
So
do you know a lot of
soulful.
singers, no offense, but you know, this Lana Del Rey Mitski stuff, I like it, but it's a bit too.
Whereas CMAT belts it out.
CMAT's like, she's like in the mold of a Dusty Springfield,
My wife, no, Dusty was like a whispery singer as well.
but had pipes. She's got pipes.
I don't think that's a good comparison.
Okay, so I'll take it back.
My wife keeps calling CMAT MCAT, which I find quite funny.
That's funny.
You've been listening to the MCAT, son?
You've been listening to that we were promised jetpacks.
She has a song called Vincent Company on this album, which I think is fucking great.
So who is that? That's a bald football player?
Yeah, he used to play for Man City. He now manages Burnley. And yeah, I just think that's funny to
Do you know what
have.
the song's about?
I read the lyrics because I remember seeing it was called Vincent Company, but I can't remember.
So I know this, let's say, who went to school with CMAT.
Right.
She was in the year below, and I dropped my toothpick. I was saying to her, I was like, oh, was she cool growing up? She was like, yeah, she was so cool. She was always like shaving her hair and stuff.
She shaved her head like Vincent Company is the lyric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she thought that was like, oh, she's like a cool indie punk. Whereas from the song, you're like, oh, I was like going through it. So I shaved
Yeah.
my head like a crazy person, like Britney Spears or something.
Yeah.
Or like Vincent Company.
I don't know if Vincent Company was shaving, going through it when he shaved it. He was winning the Champions League, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
But you never know. I
That
guess.
really says a lot about how people see mental health problems, that you think that just because someone's in the Champions League, they can't go through it.
Chris is honest, I think it's 4th chopstick of the thing.
I'm
He's got
not
a fucking new
chewing
addiction.
chopsticks. I'm chewing toothpicks.
Yeah.
Chopsticks are for Chinese people
I'm
to pick up rice and chicken.
All Japanese.
Or Japanese. Or Mongolian.
Vincent Company's going through it at the moment, I think, but people are questioning whether or not his all-out attack tactics are really going to work in the Premier League, and whether or not he needs to think about maybe employing some more defensive tactics when playing against the bigger teams, because they're just not picking up points.
Vincent Company's such a technical
And
player. That's what I like about
think
him.
CMAT was talking about that when she was singing this album about willingness to change tactics when it's not going your way, you know?
Wow. She was. I mean, that's a great point because I believe that Seema was going to write an album about how she forgave this guy who ruined her life. Then she started writing and she was like, wait a minute, this guy was a fucking loser. So she
Yeah.
did change tactics. She went, I've not forgave this guy at all. He was an asshole.
Yeah.
But he really lovingly renders this monster in her life, you know, really goes like, you see the guy in 3 dimensions, the way he speaks to her. Just, you know an album like that's really good when you go, good, I'm a piece of shit. You know?
It's great, and I've only really listened to it in the last sort of month or so, to be truthful. Maybe it was one if I listened to it. When did it come out? Only in October, maybe. Okay, so
I
maybe
had
if I'd
a
listened
few
to it-
songs off it, but
maybe if I'd listened to it earlier in the year, it would have been higher up in my list. I mean, as I said, it was kind of on the list, but then I saw
it's got
you
John Grant on it. You're a big
had it.
friend.
Big JG, love that cunt.
I really want to, can we do John Grant soon? Like one of your
Yes.
favourite albums by him? I want to listen to it.
Too
you know?
easy. We can get David Blease of Monkey Barrel to be the guest because he loves John Grant too.
Does he?
Yes.
I can't picture that.
My fringe thank you gift to David, not to be a nerd, but I give the guy who runs the venue a gift as a thank you. It is a fringe.
It's the same venue every year. It's discussing. What?
Was John Grant live at the BBC record, which is one of my favorite records that I own. Got a version of that. Anyway,
There's a run of songs. Where Are Your Kids Tonight with John Grant? Can't Make Up My Mind. Whatever's Inconvenient is like the 3-song fucking streak. Not that the other songs aren't amazing. There's loads of good stuff on it. But the bit, I mean, where I can't make up my mind. I'm your hunky dory. I tell you all the time. I'm busy and I can't make up my mind. It's
and
like,
of course,
fuck.
she's Irish, which we love as well.
We love the Irish people here. That was
That's
my
Christopher accidentally playing music from his phone. Keep that in. She was born in County Meath. All right. She's a cool chick. She went to Trinity College, so that's a little bit posh, but then is one of the only really fucking major universities there. So
She's from Dunboyne.
Dunboyne. Okay.
Another great song is Whatever's Inconvenient.
Mm-hmm.
How's that go again? What's that chorus?
You can't play it, Christopher.
Oh shit,
Oh, for fuck's sake.
that's great. It's good stuff.
Can't wait to get copyright struck for that.
What a broken iPhone 9 sputtering out its broken arsehole.
You don't know the technology that these record companies employ to make sure that anything like that gets shut down.
Another drone comes over to my house.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Barack sent another book. No.
Right, my number 2.
Number 2.
Young Fathers, Heavy.
Number 2 on your list. Number 1 on the List magazine's top 100 coolest cultural
Pieces of Ass
Yeah.
of the year. This album as well is doing very well on all the sort of aggregate end of year lists. Enjoyed it at the time. I think I said this only recently really covered it after I saw him. First off, it's easily my number 1 gig of the year that I went to.
Yeah.
And I will seek them out to go and check them out whenever they're live in Scotland from now on, because it was that good. The album I listened to a lot since we covered it, and I think I kind of said I wasn't sure if it was the best introduction to Young Fathers. I kind of take that back a bit. I think it's inventive and bold and interesting, but also poppy all the way through. It's fun as well as brave in points, and it has that song that was on, I think, my second most listened to song of the year, which is crazy because it came out. Oh, no,
You're wrapped out.
it did come pretty. Oh, do you want to see my wrapped?
Yeah. Roast your wrapped.
You want my top songs? Here we go. It was "Tell Somebody" was my my second listened to track in all year.
Wow. Respect.
And Chris is just able to see my.
This is, I mean, yeah, great stuff.
my
It's all
my,
the stuff you put in your list, really.
my top songs 2023, and basically the only albums that I haven't put in my top 10 are Chvrches, which are obviously not released this year.
Good reissue, though.
And it was the reissue. There is a Boy Genius song there. There's a couple of Boy Genius, and there is a national song featuring Taylor Swift. Oh no!
You're a fucking loser.
Oh, that's fucking fine. But look,
You've
wet
got
leg are there
you've got
somehow.
a forbidden planet.
I don't know how the
Funko Pop
fuck that
up
happens.
your asshole right
On
now. Ben.
hold by the XXs on there. What's that all about?
I had that as well. I was going through it in August.
There's a song. Oh, you know what? I'm actually going to shout at this band, the Murder Capital, because they nearly were in my top 10 as well. They're another Irish band. They've got a great song called "Return My Head." which
I heard
love.
some gossip about the Murder Capital.
Yes.
Person I was telling you about who knows CMIT.
Mm-hmm.
I know some cool people.
Mhm.
And they told me that they bumped into someone who was in the Murder Capital when they were starting. And they were like, oh, how's it going in that band? They're doing pretty well. And they went, oh, I had to leave. And I was like, oh, why? It's because the lead singer was hitting other people in the band.
Hitting.
Yeah, like James Brown would hit people if they didn't do it right. He'd
Right.
just go over and slap. Sorry if I hadn't you. I don't hit podcast
I'm going to leave
people.
the podcast. It's so fucked up to call your band the Murder Capital and
and
then
start
go
murdering your
hitting
friends.
people.
Yeah, yeah.
I had to leave the
slap
band.
capital. Oh, they just went. I'm not going
The
to
Murder Slap-capital.
And now they're doing all right, and they're kind of like, maybe I should have got slapped a wee bit. But that's just part of the industry.
The creative process.
Yeah.
Being
Probably
slapped.
going to get sold by some posh Irish fuck for this. Sold? Sued. I meant to say sued.
I was like, what? My number 2 album of the year, Young Fathers, heavy. Also, there's a thing about they're local. Do you know what I mean? I have lived in Edinburgh for 15 years now, so almost as long as I lived in Dagenham. And so even though obviously I'm not from here, Edinburgh is very close to me personally, important.
Yeah.
And to see a band from here doing well globally. I mean, they're just open for Depeche Mode on their US tour. This has been getting plaudits all over the world. They won Scottish Album of the Year, nominated for Mercury, which they've previously won. Like, to see a band from your ends, even though this isn't strictly my ends, but it's
No,
kind of
do you
my
know what?
adopted ends.
Can I speak on behalf of Scotland?
Mm-hmm.
You're Scottish.
You say that now.
You have bowel disease.
You're
are
fucking
so,
squat.
so grumpy all the time.
I'm a ray of sunshine.
Come on.
Okay.
You were on stage just going, blah me now, I fucking blah blah shit. And I was like, he thinks he's not Scottish to Crystal, and she was howling with laughter.
When was this?
At the Grum Shack where we did that Palestine benefit. The grumpiest man alive. And
I'm ornery.
that's worse.
Is it?
That's like the Charmeleon if Charmander was grumpy.
Did I tell you when someone
you would
called me-
evolve into ordinary with your rare candies.
when an American comic, what's her name? Oh, I forgot her name. But she
Jenna Friedman.
no, I haven't gigged with Jenna Friedman. I was Lisa something. Anyway, when I gigged with her, and
Lisa Curry?
yes, and she was like, "You're very good. You're ornery," and I thought she said ordinary. I went home going, "That fucking bitch called me ordinary."
Yeah. I said that to a girl once. I said, you got a Disney voice. Like a princess, I meant. But she thought I said Dizzy. She thought it just sounded
You
concussed.
got a Disney voice. You Disney have a voice.
Disney fucking give a fuck. So that's how you're Scottish, because you can make me jokes like that.
Yeah, Young Fathers, heavy. My number 2 album of the year.
about Scotland. If you move here,
We'll adopt you.
we're a good country.
Yeah.
done anything bad.
No, don't ask why street names are called what they're called.
Nelson Mandela. That was actually a good one. That was a good one.
Yes.
But Jamaica Street.
It is a bit out there. It's art pop, but that's the sort of stuff that I fucking love. It's interesting, it's unique, it's so original, and it's so cool to see them fucking still doing what they do at such a high level, and I'm so excited to see what they do next. I think it's only going to get better and more interesting and weird. Heavy.
Yeah, and it's great to see a Scottish band do so well.
Are now at the time where we are going to announce our own personal albums of the year 2023. Christopher, what's your favourite album this year?
Do you know, I was going to do a wee cool running joke this episode that I forgot to do. So see, when I said that Short Fiction's like, it's a bit of something different for me. It's a indie emo album with a pink album cover. Because Jeff Rosenstock's Hell Mode is also a kind of indie emo record with a pink album cover.
Right.
Home is where The Wailer has it's a kind of indie emo record with a pink album cover. It's just something I noticed.
So that's your album of the year?
Somebody once noticed that.
What's it called? Who's it by?
It's called The Wailer by Home is Where.
Right.
I went to Morrison's once for Roscoe, and he noticed that everything I bought was orange.
Right, Glaswegian.
Well, maybe. But he was like, you should buy stuff that's different colours. And now I've noticed that the top 4 albums that I've listened to are like pink. And then my top 10, a whole bunch of them are pink, I think. And the other ones are black. So I think I'm on the spectrum.
Not what I was expecting you to say about your favourite album of the year.
It's great. Basically, this is their kind of first real album. They had an EP in 2021.
What kind of stuff is it?
Well, I'll tell you. But they had an EP in 2021. And then the lead singer transitioned. So this is the first thing they've put out since they're women. And it's
We've got
really...
We've both got trans artists on our lists. I'm just saying we're a pretty woke podcast.
Compared to who?
Gig Pigs. I'm going to put them on blast in a minute. You fucking wait, you freaks.
You fucking wait, you pair of mugs. So it's a kind of, there's a lot of stuff about just the body horror. There's a thing called Skin Meadow, which is one of the songs, and it's about just if a whole meadow is just human flesh. And they're kind of from Florida.
Body horror is like, that's freaky shit, isn't it? What's that David Cronenberg film from last year? Was it David Cronenberg? He did
The Deodrome was a big one for the 80s, but he had one last year, didn't he?
One last year that was like a body horror thing about people being able to like attach stuff to their body in the modern years. Like, oh, that's freaky stuff.
It's a wee bit of body horror, but really it's the stuff about NASCAR. There's a song called The Day After 9/11.
Well, now we know why it's number 1.
Yeah.
9/12.
Yeah. And this next song is called 9/12.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, the one song's called Every Day Feels Like 9/11. And then the next song's called 9/12, and it goes, the day after 9/11. Everybody just
so
went back to
funny
work.
that you put your album of the year and it's an album about 9/11.
Yeah, it's great.
Wow.
Every day feels like 9/11. Every day.
Oh,
feels
did they scream?
9/11. Not in a heavy metal way, in a kind of screamo emo way.
Right. Okay.
There's a wee bit of screaming, but there's a lot of kind of slide guitar. There's the
Okay.
theremin comes in. There's a lot of kind of sci-fi country stuff. It's kind of like
A lot of sci-fi country stuff.
I'm beginning to like sci-fi country
I've been listening
recently.
to sci-fi country recently.
So it's kind of like, do you know what Asteroid City was kind of country, but with an alien? There's a little bit Asteroid City,
Right.
but like somebody having a panic attack while screaming about aliens and 9/11. And NASCAR.
NASCAR.
It's really like, it's
What if an alien competed in NASCAR?
while screaming about 9/11.
Well, it would be screaming. Never driven a car before.
But I'd imagine a lot of the mechanics of a spaceship are transferable skills.
Not to NASCAR.
Not to pick holes in what you just said.
Well, you
but
don't have to fucking skid in mud if you've been in the UFO all your life. You've never skidded once.
you don't think that flying through an asteroid field is incomparable in some sense to skidding through mud in a NASCAR rally
No,
car?
I don't actually. I think
This is why we don't have the same list, because we just see the world differently. It's really, really powerful, and it's a wee bit like short fictions where it's really emotional and fucking just about like how there's so much fucking horror in the world just now, and you just wake up and you go on Twitter and you look at the news and you're like, Jesus fucking Christ, how am I supposed to continue in this?
I would say
And the world just keeps going.
the thing that I think the Venn diagram of our list is that it's pretty bleak, isn't it? We've got a bleak outlook. There's not much
The happiest times I've ever ignored, though.
joy, really. You know, we both looking at both our lists. I think that we've got unhappy about the state of the universe.
And their lives, even though they're great.
Yeah. But like all the art that we enjoy is people saying, God, the world's awful in a different way. Or, you
What
know,
else are you supposed to say?
no, I listen, I love it. You know what I mean? But even like King Gizzard is not saying that, well, it is the end game of the environmental catastrophe is fucking dinosaurs, you know?
Is the petrochemical industry destroying the planet Earth and a coven of witches raising an army of dinosaurs and then they go up to the International Space Station, you know?
Yeah.
At the end of that album.
So it's all pretty bleak stuff.
Home is, if you're into emo, if I kind of got into a lot of emo this year because last year we didn't do Enjoy an Album of the Year, but my favorite album from last year, 2021, 2020, maybe it was 2020, I don't know what year it was, but The World is a Beautiful Place and I'm No Longer Afraid to Die had an album called Illusory Walls, and really I've just been trying to get into stuff that reminds me of that.
Makes you think of Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. This is a Dark Souls podcast
This
as well
is a
as a
Dark Souls
9/11
podcast.
podcast.
What's your
What
favourite
other-
Dark Souls boss?
What other podcasts are talking about both Dark Souls and 9/11 within mere words of each other?
Probably a few.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah.
Okay. My number one album.
Number one,
of the-
Liam.
Number one,
Fail.
Liam. Thanks so much. Thanks for listening. Is Eva's Tumor. Iva's Tumor.
You don't even know how to say the name.
No. Well, no. Praise.
What does Lauren Laverne call it when she says it on Radio 6?
I've never heard this on Radio 6. Praise the Lord who chews, but which does not consume, or simply hot between worlds. They say in one
Love
song,
the album title. Love a
say,
long emo album title.
Iva's Tumor, got to be free. So I think it's Iva's Tumor. I had not heard of Iva's Tumors before. I know frequent pod collaborator Stuart McPherson was a fan prior to this. We've spoken about that. But this was an album. I didn't know them. I just got a B&M on Pitchfork and I just put it on. And every now and then you get an album recommendation and you just put it on. This happened with Hell Mode as well, actually. And within the first sort of track, you're like, I'm in. I'm all the way in. This probably is so high, top of the list.
Number one.
Because of when it came out as well,
When did it
meaning
come out?
like February or something. So I've had nearly a whole year and I've kept going back. It was my most listened to song and album of the year on my Spotify Wrapped.
Is it possible to develop a relationship for an end of year list with a relationship that's because like Hell Mode came out late, but I've been listening to the singles for that since February.
Yep.
Is it possible, like a Quaranta is a great hip hop record, but it came out like a couple of weeks ago. Is it possible to develop a relationship with it to become a number one record? I don't know. Home as Where is something that I got into that before the Fringe, and then I've been going back to every week.
Yep.
And just listen to it on repeat and be like, this is fucking class.
For me, I kind of tried to look at the list as how much they have played a part in my year, how much I have been going back or how excited I feel about it. So with Green Lung and Hell Mode, they're both very recent additions, whereas this and BCNR has been pretty much omnipresent throughout the whole year. BCNR had a big break, as I mentioned, but this hasn't really stopped. This has been something that I've put on a lot, including Lovely Sewer was my song of the year that I listened to most. It is ostensibly a pop record, but there is post-punk, there is heavy metal, there is dance, alternative dance even, there is...
Is there country? I've
no.
been getting into country recently.
No, there is not. It comes in at 37 minutes. All of the songs are catchy and fun to sing along. That song, Lovely Sewer, has Diana Gordon on it. And I just love it. I think it's so fun to listen to. Lovely Sewer, tragedy free. You cannot start a war just for the feeling.
I have refused to listen to this album.
Because
Yeah.
okay, so we'll chat about this quickly at the end of the episode. We were going to cover this album on the playlist on the
On
podcast.
an episode.
We were going to do an episode.
Special guests.
for a few reasons. Because I've loved this album for quite a few months now. And then a couple months ago, the Gig Pigs, aforementioned Gig Pigs,
Rival Music Podcast.
which started after us.
Well,
Two white male comedians chatting about a different artist each week. Where did he get that idea? They contacted us.
Two comedians speaking into microphones that are recorded. Where did you get this idea?
Where did you get that idea? Alex and Ivo, they contacted us saying, do we want to do a collab?
No, they're doing really good. They're on all the lists. The charts.
Yeah,
of
they're
the
on all the
podcast.
charts, you know.
Two very successful
They've got a big
comedians.
production company.
Oh!
We're DIY.
Oh!
Okay? And so they contacted us and said, do you want to collab? Let's do an episode on. Let's find the whole concept of Gig Pigs is they go and see a live band. So I thought, well, why don't we go see a live band, all four of us?
Why don't we come up to Edinburgh?
We could do an episode of our podcast about the live band that we see, and then we could do an episode of your podcast about an album of the live band that we've all gone to see together. So we were trying to figure out a night whereby we could go and see an artist, and Ivers Tumor was playing. I think it was like 2 weeks ago or something. So that was going to be who we was going to go see, and then we were going to cover this album as a big group. It was going to be a fun collaboration. Can I just say, they asked us.
They started it. They opened up the group chat. Here's the plan. Who do you want to go see? PJ Harvey? No. Okay. Yves Tumor. I don't like them. You like them. They like them. Okay.
Yep.
I said back
was
something.
out as well.
Okay, let us know detail. Dang it.
We were enthusiastic about it. So
Dang
yeah,
it.
sure, this sounds fun. And then they blanked us.
Blanked us
for like 6 weeks.
For 6 weeks.
And even at one point I said, is this happening? And then they blanked that for a few weeks.
Evil.
Eventually, they said, oh, sorry, we're just picking up on this. What are we thinking
we're busy.
going forward?
We've had things in our lives that's
Oh,
upset
we're
us.
on television.
Oh, no.
Oh, we're more successful than you. So eventually,
That's what they sound like.
they came to us and said, when should we do this? And me and Chris in our own group chat said, let's dinghy them back.
Let's
And it
never
remains
respond.
unreplied to.
Let's see how long it's been.
So have that, gig pigs. We
Eh?
are calling you out. We
You-
are putting you on blast. We are starting a podcast beef with the gig pigs. You are pigs.
That was on Friday, the 20th of October.
Yeah.
You hear that, Ivo? This is the response to you.
We're now responding to you live.
2.5 months later, you fucking
Gig pigs.
little person who's
More like-
never been anything but nice to me.
Music swines.
Two lovely people who are the only people in
Rolling
my life
around
who
in
love
the
Los
dirt,
Campesinos.
eating truffles, huh?
Yeah.
That's
Guess
you.
what? We just made fucking gig sausages and fried them up and then threw them in the gutter because you don't even deserve to be ate as part of a healthy meal. You scamps.
Enjoying
Then
that versus-
Brian Donaldson calls us scamps. That's the
Yeah.
fucking scampiest material I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. So,
Dicks. Fucking gig dicks.
gig dicks.
That's what I say. You hear this?
And can I just say, if there is anyone out there who listens to both Enjoy an Album and Gig Pigs, I want you to stop listening to us right now. You've made
And
your,
them.
you've
And
ma-
go to the Ed Sheeran Sleaford Mods News Shop and join the pile. Nah, just
They're nice guys.
they're nice guys. They've never been anything but lovely to me.
Yeah. But
Ivo let me do his DJ battle, and you could have been part of that, but you wanted to go home instead.
yeah, I wanted to go.
And I took an edible and ruined the whole thing.
I'm just saying, don't.
It was a good night.
Don't dinghy us if you don't want to be called out publicly.
To never dingy me. It's my message to the world.
There was a guest who was on their podcast who made fun of them for being enjoying
Ripping us
album
off.
and enjoying album too, and they cut it out.
They
we
cut
would.
out.
Can I just say this? We don't cut anything out. Is that because we don't care that much about the product? No, it's because we don't have the time. Everything stays. If something actually gets cut out of the episode, it's because it's really bad.
Yeah, really bad.
We don't protect our own image though.
Sometimes. I hope some of that suicide stuff gets cut out, but I doubt it will.
No. You asked something to be cut out recently because it offended someone that you like.
I thought it would offend someone that I like.
That's it, okay? But we're not keeping this in, so what does that tell you about how I feel about gig pigs?
Gig pigs.
Eat dicks.
Well, it's been a great year at Enjoying Album. Thank you so much for listening to the top 10 of Liam Withnail and the top 10 of Chris MacArthur Boyd. It's been Enjoying Album of the Year.
Yeah.
Should we announce next year's plan?
In March,
In March.
when we are doing our live show,
we are having our first, this has been something we've been planning for a year, themed months, events in the Enjoying Album universe, collecting your Infinity Stones and your Horcruxes.
yes, so
Like
March
Taylor
is going to be Johnny March. We're going to spend the entire month chatting about not only Johnny Marr, but also his offshoots. It's going to be the collective glue that holds together all of March's
We are building up to Johnny
album
March.
choices. And are we also doing Radiohead?
We don't know if we're doing Radiohead. We'll see what the response is like to Johnny March. But
We're really excited about that, and it's going to culminate at the live show, so it's going to be fucking sick.
Are you going to go see the Smile when they play the SEC Armadillo?
Probably not. So, thank you so much for listening to us throughout the year. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed doing it. We wish you a very happy 2024. Let us know what you think of our lists. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Actually, I don't care. Keep it to yourself.
I just want to say, making this podcast with the whole damn crew, Monkey Barrel Comedy, Chris Thorburn,
Cock and Ball Torch.
saw Eddie Ting the other night with we met in Shahid.
Old school. Only real heads know.
Only real heads know. We've had it's been a lovely year.
Yes, and we love you guys. So
And just because I'm starting a new podcast, this is still my podcast.
I can't wait for the pod.
He's upset that I'm starting another podcast, but very like other podcasts where one person started a new podcast and it seems like this fracture of the relationship. But it doesn't matter. We're gonna have a good time anyway. This isn't the end of an era. It's the beginning of a new century.
Yeah, no, it isn't.
Peace and love in the new millennium.